set this up in a 4-inch hoop, and I'm going to go up here to the word image at the top of your screen, choose auto punch, and then find the JPEG of the design that we're doing. Move this down a little bit to make sure I'm not getting any edges of that JPEG, and go on to next. And you see I just have the word. You can choose to fit it to page, or you could leave it at that size. I fit it to the page and went to next. And here it's using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colors, and we really only want red and white, so I'm going to take this number down to 2, hit retry. I want it to be very sensitive to the segmentation, so I'm going to make that high. And I also want the noise reduction. That kind of means how close together things are. I'm going to take that to high too, and finish. And now I have an embroidery file on the page. You notice it changed the color. We can make it red. And I'm looking at this wondering, what is this little thing? So I'm going to, it's circling around here. I'm going to change it to green so you can see it. We don't want that to stitch. It's the center, and that should just be your background too. So I'm going to delete that one. And now I'm looking, and the stitching order here is all out of alignment. Plus we've got designs in different fill stitches, and that doesn't look particularly well. I've got the F. When we go here, it's a satin stitch, but it's pretty wide. I don't think you really want that. I'm going to change it to a fill stitch. Here's the L. I'm going to move it up so we're doing it in regular order. I'm going to actually change that one too. The I. So all along, here's the dot to the I. Now we're to the Z, and that one, whoops, need the T there. And change that to the fill stitch. The Z's already there. The E's in place. And the R's in place. Change that to a fill stitch. So when you change these stitches, you have a choice of many of these different designs to have them. The satin just seemed too fat here. Maybe if you make it a smaller design, that would look okay. So in which case, I did on the others do a program fill. Program fill lets you open up here under the sewing attributes this whole file, and it has all of these changes here over, and letters in itself. It's loads of changes. This is the herringbone, and I already sent you the herringbone. That's the change there. And when I do that, I also tend to maintain the wrap aspect, and for letters I'd put it down to the lowest pattern. But you could choose any of these patterns now that I've made you one. I'll go back with this one to the satin stitch. Whoops, not the satin, the fill stitch. And all of these, we could select all. Oh, we're on this one. You could put an outline around it. Where it says not sewn, you could put a zigzag around it, but I'm not sure that that's what you'd want. It kind of took away any definition here. And if you made that bigger, you would still end up needing a bit of this pull, but that's an option. You could make it all just that zigzag stitch. You could make it all a running stitch that would just outline around each letter. So you have choices in whether you're dealing with the outline stitch or a fill stitch in what you're doing here. So I'm going to undo that outline stitch and just go back to the back. And here with the box around the whole works, you go up to the Home tab, and over here is your Applique wizard. And the running stitch, the little V stitch was just kind of a blanket stitch to tack it down. The distance from the original pattern, you can change this. I'm just using the default here. And it created your outline. I usually like to take water-soluble stabilizer and stitch a placement line. And a tack down stitch to the fabric first. I guess I moved these around. Here's your placement line. And then go ahead and stitch all of my writing on there, and when I'm all done, this ends up being the little blanket stitch, and this is the satin stitch to finish. And this one you probably just want to know that it's the same color again to finish off. So that is one.